A rainy day, a wealthy British aristocrat, Lord Sterling, throwing a sweet old black woman, Miss Charlotte, out of a historic mansion. She was holding an old painting. Lord Sterling was the owner of the oldest estate in Providence. He was arrogant, cruel, and obsessed with his pure lineage. One day, he found an elderly black woman named Miss Charlotte living in the guest house. She claimed her family had lived there for 200 years. Sterling: "Get out, you squatter! This is a house for royalty, not for people like you." He threw her bags into the mud. When she tried to show him an old document, he ripped it up. He dragged her to Judge Caprio's court to have her arrested for trespassing. He thought he was protecting his legacy. He didn't know that Judge Caprio was about to rewrite history. Judge Caprio looking at the ripped document, Sterling laughing. In court, Sterling was smug. Judge Caprio: "Lord Sterling, you are evicting an 80-year-old woman in the rain?" Sterling: "She is delusional, Your Honor. She claims this estate belongs to her ancestors. She says she is descended from a queen. Look at her. Does she look like a queen to you?" Sterling laughed. The audience murmured angrily. Miss Charlotte stood silently, holding her head high. Miss Charlotte: "My grandmother told me the truth, Your Honor. We are the hidden line." Judge Caprio leaning forward, images of the Black Queen portraits appearing on screen. Judge Caprio didn't laugh. He called in a Judge Caprio: "Mr. Sterling, you pride yourself on history, but do you know who built your estate?" "Of course, my great-grandfather, a duke." "Actually, it was built in 1761 for Queen Sophia Charlotte." "Yes, the White Queen." "Is that so? Dr. Evans, please explain." The historian stepped up. "Actually, Queen Charlotte descended from the Portuguese royal family's African branch. At the time, they tried to erase her features in portraits, whitening her skin to hide the truth, but the lineage remained." Sterling looked nervous. "What does this have to do with this woman?" Miss Charlotte provided a DNA sample, and we compared it to the royal markers found in the estate's original deed. The judge held up a chart. "Miss Charlotte isn't a squatter. She is the direct descendant of the line that you tried to erase." "Impossible!" "The history books might have lied, Mr. Sterling, but DNA does not. You claimed she was trespassing, but according to the original royal charter, this estate stays with the bloodline. Since you are only a distant cousin by marriage, you are the trespasser." "You can't do this. I'm a lord." "And she is—" "I am ordering you to vacate the property immediately. The estate belongs to Ms. Charlotte." Ms. Charlotte walking into her mansion, Sterling crying outside. Sterling was escorted out by bailiffs. Ms. Charlotte returned to her home, where she finally hung the true portrait of her ancestor on the wall. Judge Caprio proved that truth can be buried for 200 years, but it never dies. Subscribe to Judge's Mind for more history and justice.